While this horrible situation has gotten a particularly high amount of attention, there are roughly 1,000 cases a year of a train derailing. Now, this train was subject to certain enhanced requirements because of the hazardous materials on board, but obviously none of that prevented what happened in East Palestine. Obviously, I can't get ahead of an investigation that is active and ongoing, but Norfolk Southern will have to answer to EPA for the environmental side and to our department if there were any violations of rules that were found.
Put Ben and I up side by side. Now, Ben, I'm about to get out of my chair right now. Politics 101 is to show empathy. You know what the first thing this mayor did? Because he ain't over his head. Oh, well, there's so much media attention on this one issue. There's over 1,000 train wrecks a year. Hello? Say what? And you excited about that, but you see what he did, Ben? He's trying to make an excuse here and then treat the people of East Palestine as if they a throwaway community. What y'all all up in arms for? There are about 1,000 train derailments every year. And I don't want to get ahead of an investigation. No, dude, get ahead of the investigation and show some damn emotion about what those people going through. Ben, this is what I don't like. See, this is what neoliberals do.
100%, you're right. It's so frustrating to see somebody who seemed to have so much promise gets in office and loses his empathy, loses his passion, loses his rage for what people are really suffering through. Another quote that Pete Buttigieg said on the same thing was the most wonky politician language, devoid of any emotion. He goes, and I quote, "We are accelerating and augmenting our ongoing lines of effort on rail regulation and inspection." Oh, you're augmenting your lines of effort? Did you get that out of a presentation deck for a founder at a tech company? How about actually say, this is unacceptable, this is absolutely an outrage, I'm going down there yesterday. How about that situation? Why do these people get in power and all of a sudden be part of the machine instead of breaking the machine, instead of putting the oil it needs to get it running faster than it ever has before? It does not make any sense. And then he goes on Stephanopoulos and says, I'll go down there when the time is right. The time was a couple weeks ago to go down there. Get your ticket now. You're the Secretary of Transportation. You must have access to a car or a train or a plane. Get there.
Woo, Ben, a train, a plane, long as it ain't Southwest, get there, bruh. Jump in your car. Listen, team, put that Pete Buttigieg video up one more time. And put Ben and I side by side, because I want the American people to hear what the transportation secretary said one more time. He was too cool, calm, and collected for me over other people suffering. Team, get that on back up there.
While this horrible situation has gotten a particularly high amount of attention, there are roughly 1,000 cases a year of a train derailing. Now, this train was subject to certain enhanced requirements because of the hazardous materials on board, but obviously none of that prevented what happened in East Palestine. Obviously, I can't get ahead of an investigation that is active and ongoing, but Norfolk Southern will have to answer to EPA for the environmental side and to our department if there were any violations of rules that were found.
Does he have to wait for an investigation to show some empathy and to take his behind out there to East Palestine? Does he have to wait for an investigation to do that? And to say they're gonna have to pay back the EPA? That was the point that you made earlier. What the hell do you mean pay back the EPA? That's paying back the people of East Palestine and other communities here, because those are our taxpayer dollars.
I
don't speak that language, Ben. Help me understand.
I don't understand. It really has the vibe, honestly, of, this happens a lot. We're cool with 1,000 train derailments a year, but the media started paying attention to this, and I've got plans for cosmopolitans this weekend with my friends over at the club, and so I'll get there when the time is right, because this is just like one of 1,000 instances that there should be 0 instances of, and when they do, we should clamp down. But no, this is a common thing. If the media wasn't trying to cramp my style, wasn't trying to cramp my weekend plans, I might be able to get down there faster, but I'll schedule it in. How's May look for you? How's June look for me to get down there? And by the way, where's the clamping down and making Southwest, like you mentioned, pay for what they did to people during the holidays? It's from Southwest to Norfolk Southern, we're covering all of these everything south base seems to be just not going well for Pete Buttigieg, and he refuses to clamp down. Where is the accountability? Where's him stepping up and putting his foot down for actually trying to make change that will prevent these things happening, not just trying to sit out a news cycle?
That's it. Well, obviously he got to wait for a damn investigation. See, that's the man don't even do politics right, because that's just politics 101. Show people that you care first and foremost, and they did none of that. And then we got our president going off to Ukraine instead of having Air Force One bring him to East Palestine first before he went over there to the Ukraine.
100%.
It's just a callous indifference, Ben. Really,
makes no sense. No one's saying you don't wait for the investigation. Also, that doesn't mean you can't go there and say, let me figure out what's going on. Let me hug some people. Let me show that I care about this. And then also make sure that the investigators know this investigation, at least this one, won't be swept under the rug. This investigation, we got eyes on you this time. You're absolutely right, Biden, to not go to an American city that has what looked like the equivalent of a nuclear explosion above its head happen, and before going to Ukraine for the millionth time. That makes no sense.
And then gave $112 billion to our sisters and brothers and family and friends over there in Ukraine. And I've said this, Ben, and I will say it ad nauseum. We should be there for our allies, because if it was us, Putin is wrong all day long. Twice on Sunday, as my grandmother used to say, we want somebody to come to our rescue. But we gotta, it's not a but, and we gotta do something to ameliorate the suffering right here at home. I mean, what the hell? And they gave Trump an opening. I mean, I would have took this opening. I mean, it's a gulf of an opening. I would have took it too. But that is the Democrats' fault. Put Ben back up, y'all. Put him back up. Somebody has to invade East Palestine, some country, for us to get any funding there quickly. Hey, that part. But you know what, Ben? They were invaded. They were invaded by Norfolk Sutherland. That's who invaded them. So damn it, they were invaded. So come on and put some money, put some down payments on what's going on over there. Man, I'm hot to try. So, obviously it didn't prevent. That's what the man said. Obviously it didn't prevent what happened there, as if he doesn't have any responsibility. Everything, he doesn't need an investigation for everything. He doesn't need an investigation to have a talk with his colleagues in that administration. He doesn't need an investigation to use the powers at his disposal to bring some relief to those people in real time. All Pete Buttigieg has to do, if he wants to have somebody to understand who has the power and is culpable in this situation for not doing anything, is all he got to do is look in the mirror. And I'll provide him one if he needs it. Transportation Secretary.
The buck stops right under him.
There it is. Hello. Right with him. And by the way, speaking of rules, let's put up this headline. Team, rail companies block safety rules before Ohio derailment. Did you hear me? They blocked it. This is coming from Sirota and Company. Sirota, Rock, Burns, Cunningham, Cook. Shout out to the lever. Norfolk Sutherland helped convince government officials to repeal brake rules, and corporate lobbyists watered down the hazmat safety regulations. Hello, somebody. Let's put up this next headline. Buttigieg pretends he's powerless to reduce derailment risk. Again, Sirota, Burns, Cunningham, Cook, Rock, and Perez over at the lever. Y'all better go on and sign up and subscribe to the lever. And in a Twitter thread posted more than a week after Norfolk Sutherland's fiery train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, Buttigieg indicated that he cannot reinstate an Obama enacted Trump repealed law requiring some trains carrying hazardous materials to replace the Civil War era braking system with new electronically controlled pneumatic brake technology. Now I want to understand this. Put Ben up side by side with me. Ben, I'm trying to understand this, so maybe you can help me understand this. So Trump made it worse, and they can't make it right and make it better. I don't understand, why is Trump so magical, has so much power, and then all of a sudden now the Biden administration is powerless?
That's exactly the question, because probably technically it's true. Pete Buttigieg, as the transportation secretary, can't reinstate that regulation, but Biden can. Does he have no relationship with his own head of his own administration? Does he not have a direct line during a catastrophe that is poisoning the soil and water? I can't get Biden on the phone. He's too busy eating snacks on the way to Ukraine.
Hey,
it doesn't make any damn sense.
You better say that or hosting Joe Manchin in the 117th Congress. But anyway, this rail law and regulatory experts interviewed by the lever agreed that Buttigieg's transportation department can and should redo that analysis to allow for a reinstatement of the break-in rule. Okay, can, underline, underscore, and should. The point being that Pete Buttigieg and this administration had and still have the authority to do something about this. They do.